I hope you like my lipstick, and hopefully it stays on my lips so I don't have to move my mouth all funny when I talk. MzNaturalLife, thank you so much for joining me today, and we are going to do another episode of True Talk Tuesday. What? I didn't do a True Talk Thursday on Thanksgiving because I took a break to just have fun with my family, you know, and I hope you guys had a wonderful time as well. I hope you had a chance to relax and, you know, eat good. I know this is True Talk Tuesday, but be sure to let me know in the comment section how Thanksgiving went for you. I hope it went great. Okay, so today the topic is going to be dealing with conflict. What? No, she didn't. Yes, she did. There are a couple reasons why I want to talk about this particular subject right now, because we're coming up on the holidays, and while we love to talk about the mushy gushy, you know, heart tingling and warm fuzzy moments about holidays with family, the reality is sometimes it's not all fuzzy wuzzy. And not just for the holidays, but just life in general. It's just a part of life. You're gonna have it, so you might as well deal with it. First area of discussion that I want to talk about in dealing with conflict is confrontation. Oh yes, the big C word. It's almost like a cuss word these days. A curse word, excuse me. It's almost like cursing when you say confrontation, because people oftentimes think of confrontation as violence and screaming and fighting and over the topness, and the reality is it doesn't have to be that way. But it is very important to confront issues. When you let them just linger and just sit around and you keep your feelings inside and all these things, it makes it worse. It makes it worse to tackle the problem, and it makes it worse to get to the resolution. But one thing that you can do is confront an issue before it becomes like a conflict, okay? Before it becomes a blown out fight or words have been said and necks rolling and stuff like that. Sometimes you can confront an issue before it gets to level 10 and everybody's crazy and cursing and stuff, you know. So if there is a particular trait or a particular issue that you have quite frequently with someone before the big family gathering, you might want to sit down and talk with that person or say, hey, you know, I know it's like a little thing between me and you, and let's try to work that out. And what I have found is that a lot of times people don't even know that they've offended you. So go to that person and say, hey, you know, I didn't really like when this happened or when that happened, you know, and go ahead and face it before it gets crazy and out of control. And a lot of times you can diffuse a situation when you do that. The other thing with that is that you can be clear in your expectations. So if you have a little issue with someone or things aren't always so smooth, you guys can get together and talk about where your expectations are when we see each other. One of our expectations in our family is we don't do drama. So if you mad, if you know, got some issues or whatever, you need to take care of that before we sit down at the table for Thanksgiving and everybody's praying and stuff. We don't do drama. So we decide to resolve our conflicts outside of the family time and really cherish family time. The reason why it's important to have clear expectations is because people can't read your mind. Be clear on what you expect when people come, or be clear on how you all are going to behave with each other. And even be clear about time management. You know, we're going to meet this time, we're going to do this time, we're going to do that this time, and make sure everybody's on the same page, and that will avoid some confusion and some conflict. Because people are like, you said this, no I didn't, yes you did. And you see the neck roll? You see that? You know, it don't have to go there. You also want to be sure to pick your battles. Don't fight over petty things. If it's something that's not really a big deal, then just drop it, let it go, you know. And things will go much smoother when you do that. If a situation does go 2, 10, or 8, or 7, even 5 is not good in my book. You know, you want to try to diffuse the situation. You don't want to be screaming and yelling. Of course, you know, all those rules they say in books, you know, walk it off, count to 10, whatever, you know, but make sure you're in a stable state of mind before you try to deal with the problem, because you're not going to get to a resolution when you're both angry. That's in any type of conflict, you know, marriage, friendship, you know, parents, whatever it is. You don't want to continue to escalate it. You just need to calm down. For one, you're not in your right mind when you're mad and fumes are coming out your ears, and neither are they. So if you can get on common ground, then oftentimes you'll find it easier to come to a resolution. A lot of times with our family, our friends, our spouse, we can pretty much lie. Okay, when you're not being 100% honest, you're lying. I'm just keeping it real. You know, be honest with people, because nothing's gonna change, or things don't change or progress the way they should when you're holding in your feelings. And like I said before, people can't read your mind. So be honest with people. Speak in love though, you know, don't scream and don't berate people, but be honest and be clear about whatever the offense is. So if you don't like it when, you know, your mother-in-law, you know, says this or that or whatever it is, then when you talk with her, and I'm saying talk with her, yes, your mother-in-law, you know, my mom-in-law is the bomb. We get along, we don't have issues. I'm just saying, but we're both very open with each other. So if something hurts your feelings or something you don't particularly care for, then you let them know and be specific. Does that mean she's gonna stop doing whatever the offense is? Not necessarily, but at least she knows. And once she knows, she's held accountable to that. You know, so be specific and don't do the whole, you should have known, you should have known. Leave the drama at home. And the truth is, to be fair, you know, go ahead and say those things. And me and my husband, we do that. You know, I don't expect him to just automatically know that something hurts my feelings or just automatically know that I don't like something. I tell him. Now, do I scream and jump out the deep end? No. You know, but I just say, honey, you know, and I pick the right time and everything. You know, I'm not saying this in front of his cousins or whatever and having a discussion in front of everybody. You know, I'm picking a good time, but then I might talk to him about it, and I don't hold it in. That's the other thing. Don't hold it in. Don't, you know, let it just you know, cure in your belly and hold on to it and fester, you know, because it's like poison. So, you know, make sure that you get those things out and tell the person, because that's how you come to a place where you can resolve it. And that's the big thing, resolve. Don't go for years and years and years and years not talking to somebody or not liking somebody, because I know people, and I myself have thought some of my, well, at least one of my cousins didn't like me for like 10 years because of something she did to me when I was 8. And it was like one day we sat down, she didn't even remember. We were kids, you see what I'm saying? So just like letting go, like we talked about in earlier versions, you know, it's important to not hold it in. It's important to not just keep that offense there, because it is like poison. It will destroy relationships and destroy friendships, and it destroys marriages. We see that every day, you know. So you want to release it. Now, I saw a meme on Instagram, and I don't know whose Instagram it was, but it said, accept the apology that you're never going to be given, or something along those lines, like accept the apology that you never received. And the truth of the matter is, sometimes we talk with people and our hope is that they would apologize. Our hope is that they would see our point of view and they would be sorry and be genuine, and they would apologize and really make efforts. But that's not always the case. But the power that we have is that we don't have to hold on to that. So you may talk to your spouse or your mother-in-law or a cousin or a sister or a brother or whoever, and you want them to apologize, and you may even ask them for an apology, and they may not reciprocate. But here's the thing, you resolve it in your own heart, because that's where the peace is. Sometimes the biggest step to a resolution is somebody being the first person. Just be the first person. Be the bigger person. Be the wiser person. Be the more forgiving person in those situations. Try to talk it out, and most importantly, when conflict comes, especially when it's someone that has offended you, try to hear them out. Actually listen to what they're gonna say. Listen to what they're saying to you, and not trying to come up with a rebuttal statement. You know, active listening requires that you're not thinking while they're talking. You're actually engaged in what they're saying. And sometimes you can hear insecurities and hurts and misunderstandings when you let people talk back to you and you actually listen. And so you can even determine sometimes that people really don't mean to hurt you, or they really don't mean to do things, or they really don't want it to be some great big old to the 10th power fight, you know, that they love you and they may not know how to love you. They may not know how to show it. They may not know how to receive love. I was one of those people in terms of not knowing how to receive it. So in essence, I really didn't know how to give it, you know, and I always had walls around me. So I could be jovial and joke around, I'd be your girl, but when it came to like for real relationships, I have been hurt so badly that I pushed people away, and that hurt them. And it wasn't until I listened to what people were saying instead of always being the offended one that I got that, and I was able to let them in, and I was able to truly forgive, and I was able to develop more meaningful relationships. And I have to say, you know, where I am right now in my life, meaningful relationships mean the world to me, more than money, more than material things, more than any, you know, genuine relationships and quality time. Those are the treasures in life. I always say celebrate people while they're here, you know, live with no regrets. And so I'd rather let go of a silly petty offense or even a deeply rooted offense and develop and work on it and forgive and have a meaningful relationship than and be able to enjoy you while you're still here than not, you know. And people, you know, are leaving here left and right. You don't know when, you don't know how, and all this, and I'd rather enjoy, you know, every moment that I have with you, and enjoy and develop that relationship, develop that friendship, develop that family love or that sister love, brother love, all that, you know. So it's important to cherish, and conflict is just a waste of time, you know, on things that can be handled and fixed. Please be sure to leave comments in the comment section. Let me know, you know, how do you resolve conflict? What are some tips that you have that you would like to share? And don't forget to tell me what you ate for Thanksgiving too. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram and Facebook.